entrepreneurs. And Darnell actually is a two-time National Black Chamber of Commerce Entrepreneur of the Year. A very, very successful and accomplished entrepreneur.
Well, honored to be here with you, my friend, and thank you for the kind words. And Brian Carruthers didn't say anything about himself, but he is a 4-time best-selling author on wealth building and entrepreneurship, and a sought-after speaker internationally. And I'm super proud of you, man.
Oh, man, I'm excited about the opportunity to sit with you and let everybody listen in, because we're going to be talking about a business project that, frankly, not only has had an impact on our lives, but we've been very blessed to be working with a lot of other budding entrepreneurs that needed something such as this.
Yeah.
And so as we sit here today, the world that we're living in is in a state of flux. There's a lot of people that have a lot of questions, which lends to a lot of anxiety. People are wondering what could happen tomorrow with their job, with their income. There's a lot of people that are already swimming in a pile of debt, people that might be nearing retirement age and they don't know how they're going to be able to afford it. People that are younger, not knowing how life is going to actually play out going forward because they've never lived through something like this before. All that to say, the pandemic a few years back caused a lot of people to pause and to reflect on what it is that they were doing up until that point in time. Did they like their job? Were they getting paid what they're worth? Were they happy? Were they fulfilled? And so with that pause and that reflection, we had the Great Resignation, where a lot of people said, I'm not going back to doing that. They wanted to do something more, something better, something different. You've probably heard this before, but if you want better, you got to do something better. If you want different, you got to do something different.
Yeah. And that was me, quite honestly. It's funny because you and I started differently at a different place. Our day ones didn't look the same with this business project. And, I started at a place of, quite frankly, financial desperation. I was working at a mall, as you know, selling men's and women's clothing, working 60 to 80 hours a week as a retail manager. Then you, my friend, already very successful in real estate in your 20s. So we just started a different place. I felt trapped. I felt like, man, there's got to be a better way. There's no way I'm going to do this until I'm 55, 65 years old, which is what they said retirement was back then.
Yeah. There have been famous investors that have said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you're going to work until you die. And so I'm I feel so at ease because what you and I have been able to do is we've been able to become entrepreneurs on the side from your job, on the side from my real estate career. So we have a different feeling. We wake up every day differently with a lot less of the anxiety that we would have otherwise have.
Yeah, no, it's nothing like it. It's nothing like the peace of mind. And today we get an opportunity to share through our conversation some things that have not just helped us out, but helped so many other people out because of the mission behind what we do. I mean, think about this. To be able to make a living and make a difference at the exact same time is rare.
Well, the good news is we're going to share a project that anybody can get involved in part-time. And it's the power of part-time, right? It's because I almost missed this. I mean, my story. You were there at the beginning. I almost missed it because when I learned about this company and what this company's service was, and I immediately saw as a consumer why I would want to be a customer of this company. But when they share with me the business model, I couldn't unsee what I saw. But I almost missed it because I told the guy, I said, I don't have time to do something else. My plate's already full. There's no more room on my plate. And he was really smart. He put me on the phone with somebody who became a mentor for me. And that guy said, Brian, you seem really busy. I said, you have no idea. He said, do you like being that busy? I said, of course not. He said, what makes you think that if you keep on doing what you're doing 5 years from now, you'll be any less busy than you are today? I said, never really thought about it. And because of that conversation, and I'm so grateful to have mentors, in my life now because of this project, because of that conversation, I didn't miss it.
It has been the biggest blessing for us, and all because of this business. That started before I was even born. Like the gentleman who started this business model found himself in a car accident back in 1969. And realized he had automobile insurance to take care of that banged up car and health insurance to take care of his hospital stay, but nothing to take care of the legal bills that were a result of that accident. And so we know even when you're innocent, you have to prove that you're innocent. which means you should probably get a lawyer. And who in the world can afford $300 an hour for a lawyer?
Yeah.
Like nobody. So we've been priced out of the justice system. It's been a country club the average person's never had a membership to.
Yeah.
And now we're leveling that legal playing field. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, when you started talking about legal, some people are probably going, well, I don't have any interest in legal services. I've never used a lawyer before. Don't hang up on this video right now, because whoever solves the biggest problems for the most people make the most money in this world. And look, everybody would agree. I've never had anybody disagree with this. If you live in America, if you don't know your rights, if you can't defend your rights, you might as well not have any rights. And right now, we're sitting in a studio in Washington, D.C., and just miles away is a Supreme Court building. And across the top of the front of the building, it says equal justice for all. But it's unfortunately a promise that's not been delivered on. Because if you can't afford to call an attorney to get legal help at $300 or $400 an hour, you're priced out of the legal system. And that's not fair, but it's just the reality. And this company was founded on the premise of leveling that playing field. So everyday people like you and I, when we first learned about this, I couldn't afford to call an attorney for $300 an hour. But because I got this membership, I've been able to actually utilize the law firms 86 different times for all kinds of things, big or small. And so, again, whoever solves the biggest problems for the most people make the most money. And I hope everybody is actually leaning in and understanding what I just said. Because, if you watch television shows about entrepreneurship and people are like, hey, I got this thing I invented, and will you invest and help me to build this into a company? But what if there was an idea that was already there? This company was founded, like you said, well over 50 years ago. It's solving real problems that you and I and everybody watching, everybody's got the need that this is going to be a solution for. And so that gets me excited. Because a lot of products, people get involved in businesses where you got a product where like 10% or 30% of the population would see value in it. But 100% of people need what we're talking about.
So I'm laughing, man, because when I first took a look at this, I thought, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't really break the law. I don't need a lawyer, because that was my own naivety, because I'm thinking about bad people doing worse things. I'm not thinking about bad things happen to good people too. And when I realized that, wow, this is like every day someone could use access to what we're offering. They just don't know it exists. And like you said, there's so many things out here today. I think people are just looking for something legit. They're not looking for a get rich quick. They're tired of things that are here today, gone tomorrow, something that's going to ruin their reputation and name, right? They're looking for something that's solid. And so being a part of something that's 50 years old, first of all, it checks that box. You know what I mean? You're solid. Number two, is there something that I can stand behind, I can get behind and feel good attaching my name to it, regardless of who I am, whether I'm a college student, a pastor, or a physician, or someone who's just trying to figure things out. It just makes sense to be able to share some good news.
And like you said, the company motto when we came on board was making a living while making a difference. You get to really make a difference in people's lives, and you get paid for doing it. So let's talk about the need. Because so we're talking today about a legal plan. People have, you're protected in case your house burns down, or you get into a car accident, or if you get sick or whatever, got coverage for that kind of thing. But access to legal services, some people think, oh, I've never needed an attorney, so why would I need something like that? And I learned very early on with this project that it's not that I didn't need an attorney. I just always chose not to use attorneys because I was conditioned and programmed my whole life that you don't call attorneys because it's too expensive. As soon as the attorney picks up the phone, the clock starts ticking and they're racking up the bill. But so what are some things that people would use a LegalShield membership for? For example, you ever got a speeding ticket and you didn't want points going on your record, so you wish you could have an attorney go to traffic court for you. You ever had an insurance company deny a claim? Or have you ever moved out of a rental and the landlord withheld a security deposit saying that you did damage that was normal wear and tear, but they're just trying to stick it to you? Have you ever had your identity theft, your identity breached with an identity theft situation? Or have you ever had a vendor or somebody treat you unfairly, at a store, and you said, let me talk to your supervisor, and you still got nowhere, These are all kinds of things that come up in our lives where most people don't deem them as legal situations. But a legal situation is anything that comes up in life where having an attorney get involved to help you resolve it that's a legal situation.
Yep.
It would be if an attorney would get you a better outcome and with less stress.
That's exactly right. And sometimes it's just, hey, look, I'm not sure if I should do this or not. I'm not sure if this makes sense or not. Should I? Should they? Can they? And to be able to say, that doesn't feel right. And I just used the services. I didn't even tell you this, Brian. I literally just used the services a few days ago just because I was unsure. And I bought this vehicle. It had 500 miles on it. So it's like new. And so they delivered it to my home, but they only gave me one key. They were like, hey, we can't locate the other key, the spare key. No problem. We'll just get it to me when you can. And they were like, well, you're going to have to bring it in. I found out this out a week later. You have to bring it in so that we can make the key. Long story short, years go by because I never did it. That part was on me. Well, now it's time for me to get my spare key because I'm like, hey, I need a spare key. Yep. Just moved. I'm going to have the car transported. And they were like, you're going to have to pay $250 for a lost key. I never lost a key. You guys never gave me a key. So I'm like, that doesn't feel right. Let me speak to someone else. They were like, well, the manager says no, nothing we can do. Guess what I did? With LegalShield, I'm telling you, it just feels good, man, to be able to say, let me find out what my consumer rights are. Yeah. And they were like, what do you mean? I said, let me talk to my lawyer and then, somehow I'll get back to you. They were like, oh, okay. Well, just tell me what you need from me. Well, I told you what I needed, which is an extra key. Right. So I just called a law firm and I loved it, man. I just pressed the button on my app. And then even it sent me a text and said, the lawyer should be calling you back soon. Look out for the call. So I got a text message that said that. And the debate to talk to a lawyer, and he's like, let's write a letter on your behalf. Now, this just happened, so I don't even have the result yet. But how powerful is that? Just to be able to say, this doesn't feel good. I know you've had the lawyers write a lot of letters for you as well.
Well, yeah. I bring a file jacket whenever I talk to people about it. And I'll give you a few examples here. Okay. Here's a letter that they wrote to a dry cleaner on a law firm's letterhead. When the dry cleaner ruined a $48 shirt of mine and wouldn't pay for a new one. They got the letter from my law firm, and guess what? The next week I had a check to buy me a new shirt.
Listen, who would call a lawyer at $300 an hour for a $48 shirt?
Exactly. But it's a part of the membership, right? So LegalShield makes sure that you're treated right, and there's a sense of empowerment and peace of mind behind that. Here's one with a major cell phone provider where my phone was dropping calls all the time for days on end, and I couldn't get them to do anything about it, so I canceled and went to another provider. They charged me a $283 early termination fee for my 14 months left of my 2-year contract, and they said there's nothing I can do about it. They got a letter from my law firm. I got that money back. It's amazing. Here's one from a car dealership. When I got a car, it was delivered to my house in a flatbed truck, and it was an expensive car, by the way, and had a scratch in the door. And that would have cost about $1,500 to $2,000 just to fix that scratch. Wow. And the dealership wasn't going to handle it, and the driver was not going to handle it. Wow. So they wrote a letter to the dealership, and they came and got the car the next day, and had it back to me in 3 days with it completely painted. Here's a truck rental that was a problem. They got the money back from that. I had an airline issue. Who doesn't have a problem with an airline? Well, we had a problem with an airline. My wife and I, we were traveling out to Hawaii, and they got a letter from my law firm, and we got 2 free round trip tickets anywhere we want to go in the world as a result of that. With all kinds of stories. So these letters are so stinking powerful, and it just goes to show, like, anytime something stressful comes up in my life, because I have LegalShield, this membership that some people think, oh, I know what LegalShield is. If you knew what LegalShield was, you'd have the app on your phone and you'd be using it. So when you see these stories, I'm not telling them for people to say, oh, good for you, Brian. I want you to say, how many times in my life could I have used that service, and how many times in my future will I be able to use that service?
Yeah, that's so good, man. And I love the app on the phone now because it makes it so much more convenient. Yeah. It's just powerful in emergency situations. But now to be able to press a button on my phone and to be able to have the app just come up and then look, a law firm in the palm of your hand. And you can press the button, which is what I did to get my consultation, and set that up. You can say immediately, like, I'm ready now, or you can set up a time that's convenient for you. And again, it's just, only the wealthy had access to that.
Sure.
And not everybody does.
Yes. Imagine the power of being able to pick up the phone and call your law firm and talk to an attorney on an unlimited number of subject matters to get that advice and counsel. Getting access to phone consultation with our attorneys is so empowering. Anything you ever have a question about real estate, divorce, bankruptcy, child custody, landlord-tenant issues, employment-related problems, Don't sweat it. Just pick up the phone and call and ask. On top of that, they'll review contracts and documents before you sign your name to them. They'll write letters and make phone calls like we talked about. They'll do legal research for you if you need something researched. Will preparation. 7 out of 10 Americans, adults, don't have a last will and testament. And if you die without one, the state will determine who raises your kids and who gets your assets. Getting a will done is, of course, of utmost importance, especially if you have a family. But the cost of getting a will is typically like over $1,000 to get a law firm to do that. Well, when you have a LegalShield membership, you'll be able to actually get your will done as a part of the membership without having to come out of pocket any more money. Think about the value proposition there. So anybody watching this right now, if you didn't have a will before you saw what we're talking about, you can actually, in the next week, get that done and get that burden, that anxiety off your back, and know that you actually got your estate plan and get that will done because you got this membership.
And I think that's important too, Brian, because sometimes folks say things like, I don't have anything to leave. And it's the end of life request. That living will, like my uncle passed, he was connected to life support, but my mom and her sisters didn't have to argue back and forth on whether they thought my uncle would want to live a certain way, because it was in his living will how he would want to live or not live. And I've seen siblings no longer speak because it wasn't a will in place. So again, it's just critical to have one.
Yeah. And so, whether it's helping with speeding tickets in traffic court, for a one-time $79 appearance fee. Think about how much that might save you on increases in insurance over the next several years. If you get sued in a civil suit, you'll have representation in court. If you get an IRS audit, they'll help you with that. If you have situations like, by the way, you're getting ready to, buy a home, loan doc review, getting ready to lease a property, a lease review. What else? If you've had the membership for at least 180 days, they'll even help you with an uncontested divorce, adoption, separation, or name change. Yep. And this is, I'm not going to get into all the details. That's just that alone.
Right. Yep.
Think about this. When I first heard about this service, and they share with me all these services that are provided with this membership, and they said, Brian, let's pretend you're the attorney, and you've got your own law firm, and we come to you and say, we want you to provide all those services for my whole family. How much would you charge my family per month to do all that for us? And they asked me to give them an answer. I'm like, well, at hundreds of dollars an hour, I guess thousands, $3,000 a month.
Right.
And when they said, well, yeah, it's not $3,000 a month, even though that's what you say you would charge, it's not $3,000, it's not even $300. They said you can get all that with this LegalShield preferred membership for as little as $37.95 a month. And when I saw that, I said, that's the best dollar value I'd ever seen in my entire life. I signed up on the spot. It was a no-brainer.
Yeah. And I remember being asked that same question, like, if you were my attorney, and I thought, no way is this $1 a day. And I think that's what really motivated me to say, man, everybody needs this. And I think that's why we ended up having some success, is because of my feeling that, man, everybody should at least be aware of this. So for $1 a day, and again, I know you have the preferred plan for $37.95, or the $37.95 does the updates. The $29.95, which is our basic plan, you can't get your will updated every year.
Right.
So the $37.95, but more than likely you probably have, and I didn't ask you before this interview here, or this talk, that you probably had a $49.95 plan, a premium plan.
I'm a premium kind of guy. Yeah, but
I'm a premium kind of guy.
So we actually had a group of our members, and we asked them to give us a one-word adjective on how they feel because they have LegalShield. And I've got it right here on my screen. These are the words they gave us: empowered, smart, protected, secure, postured, peace of mind, confident, and heard. That's what the members said. That's how they feel because they've got LegalShield. Wow. That's why I will never not have LegalShield.
I can imagine.
But here's the thing. Sometimes people might think, well, I don't really use attorneys much. You're getting value from this membership, even when you're not on the phone talking to an attorney about a particular situation. Because every day you're walking around this world with your shoulders back, your chest out, with a posture in your life now where you're feeling empowered and protected and secure. And so you're getting value out of this every single day. You and your spouse and all your kids up to the age of 26. I mean, when you think about the value of your whole family having that access, my wife and boys will never leave home without this app on their phones.
My mom, who's in her 80s, has access to the app I just think it's important for everyone to have for different reasons, depending on what your situation is. But as you explained today, the 3795 plan, which is our preferred plan, and I mentioned a premium because you're a premium type of guy, and I know some folks are premium type of people. That's our 4995 plan, and it is our premium plan, and it covers a revocable trust for a flat $250. So again, get what fits you best, but either way, you should have a legal plan.
Yeah. And we've got them for small businesses.
Yeah.
So a small business owner, they've got all kinds of business needs, probably even more than an individual does with their personal life.
Yeah.
So we're solving two problems. Number one, giving people access to the legal system they've been priced out of their lives. Yeah. And then number two, we've got the biggest epidemic of our lifetimes is identity theft.
Yeah.
And that's daunting because it can really wreak havoc in your life.
Yeah.
And some people are like, oh, well, I've got credit monitoring for my bank. I got a credit monitoring service, so I'm good. No, you're not. Less than 20% of identity theft even shows up on a credit report. Yeah. It's like having a house with 5 doors and putting a lock on one.
Yep.
Would you be safe? Would you feel safe? I wouldn't want that feeling, knowing that I have 4 open doors. And so, identity theft is a real problem, and we all need to make sure we've got a solution in place for ourselves and our loved ones. And there's many areas of identity theft, as you know.
Yeah, and I think it's important to know that if someone is going to access your information, and statistically they will, and they're not just stealing your present, they're stealing your future. It's like my friend who went to go move his daughter into an off-campus apartment, and they ran her credit, and of course he was signing as a guarantor, and they were like, she already has 2 apartments in her name.
Well,
and he's like, no, she can't. She's 20. But my point is, you want to know right away. And I think that's the monitoring and alert system. It's like, hey, look, someone's done this. Is this you? Yeah. And to be able to say, no, that's not me, or yeah, that was me, I think it's important.
Yeah.
Right. To know right away. Like there's some 8-year-olds who may be a victim right now and won't know it until they're in their 20s.
Yep.
So that to have that monitoring is key. And there's so many different things we do with our ID Shield. I mean, we're like best in class because we do a sex offender search to the 5-mile radius. And that's a little scary sometimes. You look at that and it's like all the red dots start popping up. Yep. But again, you'd want to know.
Yeah.
Even when, folks look at their credit score, they may or may not want to see it, but we're going to show you anyway. And be able to look at your credit report, all that's done right through our ID Shield app.
Yeah, and get counseling on all this too, right?
Exactly right.
Here's the thing, because somebody can get your name and social.
Yeah.
People say, well, I'm too smart for that. I don't give out my social. Oh, you've already done it.
Right.
You ever had a job that's out there?
Exactly.
You ever been to school that's out there? You ever joined a gym? Back in the day, 30 years ago, you might have got a Blockbuster card and rented movies with that name and social. You got a cell phone. And if it's in your name, they got your social security number to qualify for that account. Yeah. So ID Shield, like you said, is the most robust product that exists in the entire marketplace because they're going to not only do the monitoring for you with all the alerts, they're going to scan the dark web for you to see if your information's already being circulated and sold out there. You're going to have VPN to give you safe encrypted access to public Wi-Fi, which is important to keep people from snooping on what you're doing on your devices. Privacy management, social media reputation management, all this stuff. But here's the key. The 2 things that I love most about ID Shield: you're going to get a $3 million protection policy to help you cover losses incurred while you're restoring your identity, which is amazing, that secure feeling, having that kind of number. But you're going to get licensed investigators that are going to be assigned to jump in and restore your identity back to pre-theft status for you. Yeah. They'll do whatever it takes, as long as it takes to get it done for you. And that could be hundreds of hours. I mean, if you go to ftc.gov, the Federal Trade Commission, you can print out a 50-page report to go do that on your own. Mm. But a lot of those things you got to do has to be done during the day with the places that are open. So they got to do how many dozens or hundreds of hours of legwork while they're supposed to be at their job to go get their identity restored, get their life back.
Right.
ID Shield provides all that for an individual for $19.95 and for the whole family for $34.95.
Right.
And again, now that people understand, now that you all see what LegalShield does for as little as it costs and what ID Shield does for as little as it costs, the only reason why you don't have LegalShield and ID Shield is probably because you never heard about it and didn't know what it did.
Yeah.
So I love it when I show this to somebody and they say, yeah, how do I sign up? And I sign them up. It takes 3 minutes. I sign them up and I know what I just did for them.
Yeah.
I know they've got a peace of mind in their life and an empowerment that they wouldn't have had I not cared enough to be able to share this with them. That's why I felt it was my moral obligation to share with my friends and my relatives, my neighbors, and anybody I knew.
Yeah, it's not if, it's just when.
Yeah.
Right? It's not if people need our services, it's a matter of when they're going to need our services. And the good thing is we're here. And I tell folks all the time, the great thing is you don't have to convince. We're not convincing. We don't have to persuade or twist someone's arm. We just let people know. We educate them. We share the information. And I've had friends that I grew up with and known for a very long time. And they were like, hey, D, you still doing that legal thing, right? Just like you just said. I'm like, yeah. They're like, I need the services.
Yeah.
Because not if, it's just when. And when they need it, who in the world wants to go pay $300 an hour instead of coming to us? And now they understand this is a life events plan.
So, what I would encourage everybody that's watching right now to consider is this an idea worth sharing? Like, do you feel good in your gut about LegalShield and ID Shield? Would you want to go tell other people about it? You tell people about great movies, great restaurants, you just don't get paid in those scenarios. Yeah. But LegalShield pays all three forms of income. Upfront income, anybody you refer, when they sign up, you get paid the next day. So how many people do you want to sign up? Just do the math on that. Then Secondly, you got leveraged income, which just like a real estate broker can recruit a whole bunch of agents. And every time the agents sell houses, the broker gets an override on that. You can get paid leveraged income with LegalShield if you introduce anybody else to the business model. And then you also have residual income, which basically means that not only did you get paid up front, but month after month, year after year, 5, 10, 20 years from now, you can get paid for the life of every one of those customers on the membership. Mm-hmm. So if you sign somebody up today and they're still paying for this membership 20 years from now, you got paid residual income that entire 20-year period. And so when you have all three forms of income available to you, you can start seeing how this business model can actually bear some fruit for you. And I'm going to give everybody an example of how the compensation plan works.
That'd be great.
So we all start off as an associate. And let's say somebody is going to get the preferred legal plan, which is $37.95. And then you also get the $34.95 family ID Shield. So that combination of those two services is $72.90. The numbers I'm going to give right now are based on that. If somebody gets paid, if somebody buys a different plan or a different combination, you get paid proportionally. So on that $72.90 sale, as an associate, you're getting paid $80. And when I first heard just that, I'm like, how many am I allowed to sign up? I mean, I'm doing the math. Like, I'm thinking about everybody I wanted to share this with. I mean, $80 for a quick little referral, that was huge. But then as you sign more people up, they're going to keep on bumping you up to higher commission levels for the same referral. So that same $72.90, once you become a senior associate, instead of getting paid $80, you're getting paid $100. And that $80 goes to $100 to $132, all the way up to over $400.
And you know what I loved about that is I got to dictate my promotion based on my own activity. When I worked at the mall, I had to wait for them to give me the promotion. So I thought that was awesome.
Yes. And so that's the immediate income that you can generate right away. And then on top of that, if you decide you want to build a team of others that are doing what you're doing and show them how to do what you're doing, then you got the leveraged income, what we call overrides. Yeah. And as you can see with the overrides, you can earn a $20 override, you can earn a $52 override, up to over $300 that you'll earn when somebody on your team signs up a customer. We have a differential compensation plan, which means if you're at a different commission level than the person on the team who made the sale, that margin can flow up to you based on the compensation plan. So you got linear and leveraged income coming in. A lot of people have never had leverage in their life. Most people have been leveraged their whole life. Right. How about having some leverage working in your favor?
Yeah. You know what's funny, man, is that, when I first took a look at this, I thought to myself, first of all, I thought, please let this be real. Right. And then, of course, as we already talked about, the company's been around for a long time. And then two, I thought, can this really exist, these services? Yeah. And I use the services. So I would highly recommend you use the services. That way you don't have to say, I heard, I think those guys talked about it when they were, in that conversation. You could say, I know. Yeah. So secondarily, I use the service so I could believe in it. And then thirdly, I said, look, how do I get paid? Because I knew that once I was compensated for sharing this, I thought, oh, man, we're not talking about millions of dollars. I'm just saying extra income. For me, I just needed extra at that time. I just need to believe that there was a possibility for me to go out and earn what it was that I was worth, not what someone else had dictated I was
Well,
worth
I
or
watched
determined.
I watched you get started.
Yeah.
As you got more familiar with the service and used it, and as you recommended to others and they signed up and they used it and you got good feedback,
Yeah.
your belief level went up. And as you started earning some income, at the beginning it was just a little bit, but then you started to scale up. Your belief scaled up, and then your results started scaling up. That's what happened for me. I was doing this on the side from real estate, and as it ramped up, I was able to cut back on real estate and put more time and energy into something I was building for myself.
Right.
I truly feel that somebody can decide to get started up in LegalShield as an associate and start building something and not have to worry about 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, starting over in another business. This company's been around over 50 years already.
Yeah.
You can predictably say we're going to be here for a long, long time. I mean, the need for legal services is getting more, not less.
Yeah.
The cost of calling an attorney is getting higher, not lower. So the value proposition is always going to be there. So all to say is, when somebody gets involved with LegalShield part-time as an associate, they can take it at their own pace. They can do it when they want to do it, from wherever they want to do it, from their computer, from their phone, whatever, and just build it. Build it to whatever scale they want.
Yeah.
I want to give everybody an example.
Yeah, please do.
So let's say you're a senior manager, and you share this information with me today, and I want to sign up for the 7290 combo. As a senior manager, you're earning $178 as an upfront commission. But I also say, hey, can I do what you do? I know people that would want this. If I told them about it, can I get paid a commission like you? And you're like, sure. All you got to do is just check the box when you sign up as a member and become an associate as well. So I also choose to do that. So now every time I sign somebody up as an associate, when I sign up a 7290 combo, I make $80. You, the senior manager, you're going to earn the senior associate, the manager, and the senior manager override, which is $98. So let's say next week I go out and sign up 5 of my friends for the service. 5 times 98 is what? Almost $500.
Yeah.
That you got paid, and you had no idea that I even had those conversations. But that was an override that you earned when I signed up those people. So you got linear and leveraged income coming in. A lot of people have never had leverage in their life. Most people have been leveraged their whole life.
Right.
How about having some leverage working in your favor? And then residual income, again, it means you sign up a customer once, and then as long as they keep on paying for this membership, years into the future, as long as they keep paying for the membership, you're getting paid residual income on that. And I'm still getting paid today on customers I had signed up many, many years ago. I know you're the same thing.
Yeah, when I was 28 years old, I signed up my first customer. And here I am now in my 50s, so for the life of that customer, I'll continue to get paid, which is awesome.
So look, the way I feel, I would never do anything else the rest of my life if it didn't have, number one, leverage, and number two, residual income attached. Because if 100% of my income came from 100% of my efforts, what if I got sick, couldn't work, wanted to retire, God forbid I lost my job? What would happen to my household? What would happen to my family? But when you've got leverage and you've got residuals, then it's not all predicated on your ability to keep on working forever.
Yeah.
So I want people to truly understand the need to do something different to get a different outcome.
I think leverage is key. And, think about getting paid with the time you don't have, with the skills you're still developing, with the contacts that perhaps, you don't have. That's what leverage does. That's what, you introducing me, because I knew people that you didn't know.
Yep.
I was putting in time that perhaps you didn't have while you were showing a home in real estate. And so that's just one of me. What if you knew 2 of me, which you did? And I think that's the beautiful part about, what we're sharing with people today is not only is there a solid company with a real product, with a compensation package that you can dictate, what you earn here. Is there work involved? Heck yeah, there's some work involved. But I worked hard at the mall too, but there was a glass ceiling. And so for someone to say, you've got a shot to go out and achieve success, whatever that looks like for you, that was special for me.
So how does somebody get started up as an associate? And it's very simple. When somebody goes on the website of whoever referred you to get the service, you're signing up for the service, just check the box that says, I also want to become an associate.
Yeah.
You're up and running.
Yeah.
And again, you're in the driver's seat. Build it as fast or as slow as you want, as big or as small as you want. You own it. You can sell it. You can will it to your kids. It's willable. The training, we teach you word for word, step by step, exactly what to do. And that was me. I was good at real estate. I didn't go to school for LegalShield, but my mentor said, hey, do this, say this. And I just did the simple things they shared with me and followed the system, and that helped me succeed. So you'll plug into that system, and the only ongoing cost to run the LegalShield business side of things is $24.95 a month for the Advantage package, which gives you your websites to send people to sign up on, your back office. You can see all your reports and your commission statements. I like to check that every single morning. I know you do as well.
I do.
You got a mobile app with a CRM, a contact management app that you can put somebody's information in, push a button, it sends them a video.
Yep.
They watch the video, they click the link below it, and they sign up, and it gets attributed to you, so you get paid for it. Everything you need to do the whole thing is $25 a month. And every year, for the last all these years, my accountant and I laugh about how little my expenses are to run this business that I've built up over the years. It's $25 a month to run it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get into all the tax advantages of being a home-based business owner now, where you get all these write-offs where a W-2 employee never had. So it's so amazing.
Yeah, and access to your back office, that $24.95 a month is free the first month, right? So it's free the first month just to have the service, start using it. And then you'll see, even though it's not mandatory, you'll feel like, man, I got to run my business by having this, because otherwise, who in the world wants to say, hey, I'm on my way to your house 3 hours away to share some information with you, instead of, hey, I'm about to send you a video right now. Would you watch it? Sure. They watch it. They sign up on your website. You get paid the next day, all done through our technology. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And timing is everything.
Yeah.
The TN timing is way more important than the TN talent. And, because people say, well, I don't have much of a background in marketing, sales, whatever. You don't need to, because of the system and the support. And because of timing, less than 3% of the market is even touched yet. So if this was a baseball game, we're like in the second inning right now. So the business opportunity is still out in front of us. It's not behind us. Yes, the company's been around for decades, which gives us the strength in longevity. But the one remaining question that people typically will have is, the services make sense, and I see there's a lot of money that can be made, but what exactly would I be doing?
Right.
And here's exactly what you'll be doing. You're watching this video right now because somebody asked you to watch it. They gave it to you to watch. Can you do that? Can you ask somebody to watch a video like the one you just watched? That's the extent of the sales process, because if you can sell them on watching the video, they hear this information and then they decide if they want to sign up as a member or as an associate or both. And some will, some won't. And if they don't, you can just circle back later on, or they'll circle back to you. So, when people say, what exactly do I do? You can invite somebody to watch a video, have them jump on a live Zoom that night, or come out to a meet and greet event. The system makes it so that people like us that are super busy can get involved in a business part-time to fit it into the schedule how they see fit.
Yeah. And what I love is that for you and I, we got started, was that we saw other people. We heard other stories. And I thought for myself, man, anybody has an opportunity here. And everybody does, no matter who you are.
And as you get started up in this business, you're going to get a chance to hear more and more and more stories. But look, the TN timing is far more important than the TN talent. It's not about being in the right place. It's not about having the biggest amount of talent. It's about being in the right place at the right time and being smart enough to just take action. You've always said it. I've given you credit every time I say this. You don't have to be great to start. You just have to start to become great.
That's right.
And so today I would just implore you to just make a decision. Do you see the value in the services? Sign up, try them out. You're going to love to tell everybody about it once you do. Become an associate. We'll work with you word for word, step by step along the way. We'll share with you exactly how to do this business to get the success that you want. And where else can you have fun, help people, and earn income all at the same time? And I feel a sense of alignment and congruence in my life every single day. And it all started with that first decision.
Yeah, I can see it and I can feel it, man. So we're certainly glad that you guys decided to join us today and listen in on this conversation. And we certainly look forward to working with you and celebrating your story in the future. Congratulations. Welcome to LegalShield.
Welcome on.